What's up, y'all? My name's Andrew. It's time for a story. Hope all's well with you, your family, anybody you care about. Thank you for taking the time to click this and watch it. I hope you find what you're looking for. Today I'm going to talk about the time when I almost lost what we can call my manhood at military school. For those of you that don't know, I went to Valley Forge Military Academy in Wayne, Pennsylvania when I was 15 years old. My friends were there as young as 12, 2-year college, so it went up to 20-year-olds. There's some articles, there's some information if you feel like researching the school. But long story short, we were one of the lucky groups, so we got to go on, we being the plebes, the fresh people being initiated into the military school, the lowest of the low, being hazed in, being, initiated in. And we were lucky. We got to go on these field trips. That day we went to David Buster's, and I remember all the older kids would give it to us extra because we were so lucky. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. But, so while we were out being all lucky, on these field trips, I was doing okay at Dave & Buster's. I was winning a couple points. And I took those tickets you won, and I went to the counter, and I bought a bat. I bought a tiny little bat. I saw that they were selling it. I had to have it. I love weapons, man. Come on, about 100 pounds flat at the time. A weapon just felt good in my hand, And I took that motherfucker, I put it in my pant leg, and I snuck it back. I snuck it back into school, into my room. And I hid it under my bed. I don't know why. I was just like, I'm going to need this. You know what I mean? I guess. I don't know. Instincts made me feel safer. I wanted it. I had it. Anyway, one night, I was laying in my bed, and I'm pretty sure this is after I had kind of lost my mind a little bit. So I had a really great roommate. It was my buddy's name was Yup Yu Shin. Shout out Shin if you're out there listening to this, man. Awesome guy. He Korean. He wanted to be a pilot. Phenomenal guy. And when I was in there, I just kind of lost it one day, and I was convinced that he stole a pair of socks from me. And in hindsight, he didn't. He didn't. I was losing it a little bit, but I was convinced he stole from me, and I had to do something about it. So I switched rooms. I got a room transfer. I got my own room. And I thought that would be a good thing for me. I was I was a green bean. I didn't know what was about to happen, So one of those nights I'm in my room alone, and I hear a little beep, 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 beep. And I guess somebody had figured out my room code. And I'm not going to name names here because the more I've thought about it, I forgive the people who did this to me. I think I understood how, under different circumstances, maybe I would have been in that position. I understand a little better why people adapt and how they become who they are to survive a little bit. That place was very dog eat dog. So you're going to get mad at the dogs that are eating or the dogs that are getting eaten. You pick. But anyway, I heard beep, 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 beep. And then 3 dudes come into my room in the middle of the night. And, they try to take my pants off. They try to do a couple things to me. And thank fuck I had this little bat. So I reached over, grabbed my little bat. And I just, just like start hitting the one dude, I guess. Because in hindsight, one guy would kind of orchestrate it. And then he'd send, another guy in who was probably another green bean who had no business doing any of that shit. He didn't even know how to do it. Sent him in to see who would win, create a chaotic situation. Maybe like a weird little test of heart. I don't know. Like it's not like a full on JIT camp type vibe type actual, but it's institution-ish. It's like I don't know how to describe it, but I guess I'm doing my best to right now. But yes, they popped up in there, and then I had my bat up, and then long story short, I end up hanging out with the kid pretty much every day who would come in there, who was he was a pretty scary motherfucker. But something about him, like I liked how powerful he was. I'll admit it. You know what I mean? I liked that he seemed to be kind of running the show. So I figured it would be better for me if I was on his good side rather than his bad side, and that was true. You know, I'm not gonna lie, we had a lot of fucking fun together. He was a cool motherfucker. I would shake his hand right now if I saw him because that place does crazy things to people, and I think, you know, I can't imagine what he went through, but I want to tell that story. I guess get that one off my chest. You know, anybody who's entertained by that, you know, there you go. And then anybody who's lived anything comparable or similar, or you know what the fuck it is, you know. So that might explain a little more about why I'm the way I am, or what went down, because the more I look at it, you know, I was in a position where I was able to fight. I was lucky. I had a weapon. I had, you know, whatever the fuck. But, you know, if it was all four of them really jumping me, or if, you know, I didn't have that bat, or, you know, you never know. You know, if I had a bad roommate who was friends with them, you know, you never know. So, like, it's the type of thing that it just is what it is. And I've learned over the years that that's why my trauma response is in the moment fight, not flight or freeze, because in that moment it rewarded me, you know, and that was one of the more probably traumatic, pivotal type moments where, you know, I really had to sink or swim type of a deal. So, I mean, I found out what I was made of that day in a way, but at the same time, like, you don't, you know, because you think you find out, but there's a luck factor. Like, there's a big luck factor. So, shout out everybody who was less lucky, and shout out everybody who had a similar experience to me, and maybe started rolling with some cats that they did some things with, or, you know, started to become a little villainous by nature. You know, you might know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I just want to be real about it and tell that story. I think it's important. It's real life. It happened. And, you know, if you're thinking about sending your kid to that school, maybe don't. And if anybody's curious, I still have the fucking bat. I painted it and I wrapped it when I was in college because something about my guts, I've kept it on me ever since that day. And it's been within 20, 30, 50 feet of where I sleep, you know. And, you know, this is no longer the only weapon I own, but I think there's something there. So, you know, if you can, keep it on you. And if you have a choice, don't do bad things that get you sent to bad places, you know. Like, I got kicked out of a Christian school, and that's why I got sent there. You know, maybe at the time I wanted to go there because I had a friend that was fresh out of there, but either way, like, that shit's real. It really happened. And yeah. Well, I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Thanks for hearing my fucking story. I know it gets a lot worse, but I guess it also gets a little better, so it is what it is. But excuse me, that's the truth, you know. And at the very least, maybe I can get that shit off my chest, and then that can be out in the world, not floating around in my brain, body, spinal column, wherever it might end up living, you know. But for what it's worth, I ended up going to Drexel University. I got my degree. Bopped around a couple different jobs, battled a perk addiction, 2 years off Percocet, and well, like 2.5 to be fair. And then I'm a personal trainer now, and coach. You know, I work out, put some gains on myself. I put them on other people. I love that shit. But yeah, my name's Andrew. Nice to meet you. This is my first video ever, first YouTube video. Shout out all my brothers and sisters out there. Stay dangerous.